Welcome, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our advanced trainings with Healy every Thursday. My name is Petra. If you're new, welcome. We do this for over 2 years now. Can't believe the time. And it's been a fun journey. Can't believe this year is almost gone, if I'm honest. But tonight we have a fun topic, and we're going to look at some new programs, which I really love. I always love looking at new programs. So let me just start sharing so we have everything done properly. So for those of you who are joining and don't know where to find recordings, you can always find recordings on Healy World APAC channel on YouTube. You can find them on my YouTube channel as well. I have that within my group, my Facebook group. So I'm posting a link to the Facebook group in the chat. If you're not a part of it yet, you're more than welcome to join. There's no obligation. You can always ask extra questions in there. We have an amazing group of people in there to support each other. And if you tag me in the posts, I'm normally always active in the group. So that's for that. For those of you who do not understand my English, you also can have an option tonight and every night that we have trainings to download the Wordly app, so you can listen to the translation of the session in your own language. So all you have to do is scan the QR code or download the Wordly app on your phone, put in the language that you want the session to be translated in. So if you don't speak English and you want to translate it into Spanish, then pop Spanish into the app, and then you listen on the phone. You have the translation on the phone, and you listen to me and look at the computer screen. Yeah. Yes. So if it's Spanish, make sure to do the Wordly app. Yeah. So I've activated that, so that should work. Okie dokie. So tonight we are doing a new product. And it is our beautiful MagHealy Obsidian. Of course, I'm going to give you extra products, programs to support you. But the topic that we have today is mental health matters, emotional self-regulation through frequency. So mental health is a really important topic. And it's really important to understand that it's not only our physical health that we need to support, but our emotional and mental health, because studies have shown that the thing that actually impacts our longevity the most is our social connections and how we feel mentally about the world and emotional connectedness with people around us. So it's really important to take care of our emotions, take care of our mental health, to understand how to regulate emotions. Because if we don't know how to regulate emotions, then unfortunately we will see the world in a really dark and gray space. So tonight we're going to look at the new McMakin Plus program list, or list of programs. And I'm going to give you some tools to actually start the emotional regulation on a daily basis and programs to support you with that as well. So let me know in the comments, in the chat, if you can hear me properly, if the sound is okay, if you see the screens and everything. So just give me thumbs up or something so I know that everything's okay. Perfect. Okay, cool. I can see you. So also, if you don't have your camera on and you do want to show me your face, that would be awesome. Lovely. I would love to see your beautiful faces. So it's not just me talking to the black screen with some colors. Perfect. Okay, everything works. Awesome. So as always, some house rules and housekeeping. All the sessions are recorded. You can always watch them back. But as we know, please take this as educational purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I am not equipped with information about your health. I will not be answering any medical questions on medical conditions, because we know that everybody is different and there is no one way that fits everybody. And Healy is not a magic pill. And of course, we also need to understand, although we love Healy and all the MagHealy and all the devices that come with it and accessories, Healy products and devices are not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent any disease or medical condition. So please do not ask me questions as what program to use for X and X and X condition. Yeah. Your body is an intelligent thing, and you have a brain as well. And I am more than confident that you are more intelligent than I am and more capable of thinking outside of the box to actually support your body. And instead of relying only on everybody else to tell you what to do, I would really, really love to encourage you to start trusting your own intuition. And Healy is amazing for that. And we've done sessions with them. McMakin, we'll take a look at that on MagHealy today. Okay, so quick share from everybody. Tell me in the chat and drop one emotion that you've regulated this week using Healy. Whatever emotion you've done and using any products of any programs of Healy that you regulate any of the emotions this week. Tell me in the chat. You can hear me well. Perfect. Pop in the chat. I want to know. Overthinking. Oh my God, that's an amazing one. Overthinking, overanalyzing. Yeah, that's a big one. What else? Nobody else. Really? You don't use Healy for regulating your emotions? Mood swing. Okay. Yeah. Guilt. That's a big one. Sadness. Yes, that is heavy. Healy is amazing for that. Stress. Yeah, well, stress is a basket of emotions, but definitely helps with everything else. Depression. Yes, I feel you. I've been there. Loneliness. Yes. Amazing. You're using Healy for a lot of it. Relaxing, perfect. Multitasking. I would encourage you not to because it's overloading the brain. Stressy. Yeah, stressing, anxiety. Yeah, that's a big one. Weakness, like physical weakness, probably. Anxiety, fear, anger, beautiful. Anger is also a strong one, and frequencies are amazing for that as well. Sleepiness, probably like, okay, anger, ego. That's a bit of a you're putting your ego in a box, like stay here. I love that one. Okay, our ego. Let's look at the ego. The ego is our beautiful part of ourselves, right? So it's the part that we tend to kind of push away and we want to control it. But the ego is actually the one that wants to protect us, is, building the relationship, a playful relationship and a compassionate relationship towards our ego. It's a really important thing because that, helps us avoid the anxiety and anger and all of the rest. Patience. Oh my God. I was so tested this week with patience. Yes, definitely. New at Healy, quickly, how can I work in emotion? So we will cover emotional regulation today, and you have plenty of trainings to go through for the last 2.5 years. Gratitude. I love gratitude. And you can use the Facebook group or the YouTube channels. Okay, empathy towards others. Well, starts with ourselves, right? So if we start with empathy with ourselves, we have plenty to give to others. Oh, amazing. I love that you're using Healy for this. Okie dokie. So let's look at what is emotional self-regulation. So we can start looking at how we can implement it. As always, let's look at the definition. So emotional self-regulation is your innate ability to recognize, understand, and manage, not control, manage your emotional responses. How do you respond emotionally? And impulses in real time. So when the situation is happening, without suppressing them, without suppressing the emotion. How do we do that, right? Like, what do I do when I get angry? How do I do this? When somebody tests my patience, how do I not explode and just say everything that comes onto my mind? Yeah. So think of it. It's like being the conductor. of your own inner orchestra. So you're literally tuning your emotions in order to have the right song. Yeah. So it's not singing out of tune. So the music in your ears is a bit, cranky. Um, it's literally guiding your feelings towards harmony, feeling that everything's okay and you don't have to react to everything, that everything is just temporary. And all you have to do is take a breath. Yeah. And it's okay to let things go, and let the emotions be in harmony rather than letting them run the show. So it's not like you are being completely consumed by your emotions, because emotions are beautiful, they're energy, but they can drain us. Yeah. And that's both extremes. So if you have full joy and excitement, or if you have full on depression and sadness and guilt and shame, both sides of the spectrum, they can drain the body. So what are the key components of emotional self-regulation? So first one is awareness, and Healy is amazing for that, right? We've done a lot of trainings of awareness with Healy. So it's literally noticing emotions as they arise. Yeah. So literally just what's coming up, how do I feel it, where in the body do I feel it? Yeah. So for example, you can go, I'm feeling fear. I feel it in my stomach, or I'm feeling overwhelmed. Where in the body do I feel it? Yeah, it could be chest, it could be throat, it could be belly, it could be back, it could be so many different parts of the body, because you are unique. Yeah, everybody stores emotions differently, and emotions are not a bad thing. And if you get angry, you're not a bad person. Yeah, we tend to relate and attach behavior to personality or persona or being. Yeah, those are two different things. So make sure that you are compassionate towards yourself, that when emotions come up, you're not judging yourself because you are angry because somebody else doesn't accept the anger, but try to actually notice it and be aware of it. It is what it is trying to tell me. Yeah. Second component is acceptance. So if we don't accept the emotion of fear, anger, anxiety, whatever it is that's coming up, because that's the message of the body, it's not going to go away. Just letting you know. So if you go trying to get rid of it, yeah, and you want to try to run a Healy to get rid of it, you're going to get more of it. Yeah, just letting you know, because frequency amplifies frequency. So if you're running a Healy program to not have anger, yeah, but you're not accepting it, you are going to have more situations in your life to actually have an opportunity to accept that anger. Yeah. So don't call me or send me messages, Petra, I've applied that program and now I have more of that. Yes, because you didn't do the work. So just letting you know that, frequency amplifies frequency. So you need to take responsibility there. That I'm not taking responsibility for that. I have plenty of mine to do. So accepting the emotion itself, and it's not a bad thing. It's just a message. Yeah. So it's just not judging it for what it is, but feeling it. So if you're angry, just feel the anger. Don't go, hitting people. That's action. Yeah. So just be angry, and sometimes it actually helps our brain to process it better, to just say out loud, I'm actually angry right now. Yeah. Or I'm really afraid. So when you actually start speaking up your emotions, when you communicate with other people, you're telling other people, what's going on for you. That doesn't mean that you're going to act on everything that you feel. It's just when you are expressing it, the frequency that's come back through your ears and through your body that vibrates, it actually settles down your nervous system. If there's a lot of anger in the body, of course, it can also pour some oil on the fire. But then in that case, I would invite you to actually move away to a space and say that out loud to yourself, and have a pillow if it's anger, and, try to have a pillow fight with yourself. It's actually fun, just letting you know. It releases the tension. And of course, the third part is action. So action is literally choosing a response. No, if you're angry, that doesn't mean that you are allowed to just yell and scream at everybody and hit everybody just because you feel like it, because you're angry. That means that you are not literally emotionally regulating yourself. It means that you are acting on instincts instead of having intention and consciousness behind your actions. So the first step is to breathe. Take a breath, move away if you need to, and then reframe the situation. So sometimes we feel like, I'm angry or I'm frustrated. Why is this happening to me? Try maybe, like, what helps me with emotional regulation is I take a breath and go, this is just temporary. Yeah, it's not fixed. It's just temporary. It's an emotion. It's moving through. It's temporary. So what is it trying to teach me? What's the lesson here? So if I'm angry, yeah, remember when we did the emotional intelligence with Healy, when I showed you the AI? So it's looking at the mirror. Yeah, so what is this trying to tell me? What is the lesson here? What is the mirror that's coming back? So if you can't do that, if your consciousness is not there yet, if your awareness is not there yet, that's okay. You can just start by, this is just temporary. So what is it that I can do about it to make it and shift it into a different gear? Yeah, meaning positive. Yeah, so instead of having it contracted, we try to expand it in a way to bring more light and positivity in. And here is something you can use Healy in as well. So on all three levels, but in action and awareness, Healy works really well to go deeper and to actually support integration. In today's world, unfortunately, which is fast-paced, go, 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 do not stop. God forbid you go into the forest and have some silent time, yeah, because there is no time for that. You need to understand that poor regulation comes when you're not in the body. Poor regulation comes when you're actually not present. Poor regulation comes with all those stresses from the outside and pressures, but it isn't a flaw. So it's not something that you're guilty of. It's not something that you're a bad person if you don't do it. It's a signal. Because if you're exploding or if you feel like you're shaking, you have anxiety, your body doesn't know what to do with that energy. It wants to release it, but it doesn't know how to. It doesn't know what to do because it's been protecting you for so long. Yeah. So you know that unregulated emotions, we all know that, yeah, can disrupt your entire biofield because it's frequency. So it's going to vibrate. And we know that when we scan Healy, like for example, aura or coaching, you will see those patterns in the field. And it can show up as cortisol spikes or sleep sabotage, insomnia, yeah? Sorry, that's a misspelling there. And cortisol, if you didn't know, it's actually contagious. Yes, you can, if you're in a room with people that are highly stressed, after about 5 to 10 minutes, you will actually become as stressed as they are. Because cortisol actually goes outside of the body, about half a meter outside of the body. They've done research on that now. And if you are in proximity in the room with people for at least an hour, yeah, you'll be absorbing those molecules into your nervous system and into your body through your skin. So that means your nervous system will be influenced by other people's cortisol. So that's why you probably feel anxious when you step into the room, yeah, when others are anxious in the room. First you feel the energy, and the second is also the cortisol molecules. So make sure that you're aware when you're stepping into the room. If you're not emotionally regulated, you need to find your own space in order to do that, yeah, because otherwise your biofield will be affected. So why should we invest time in emotional regulation? Well, because when you master the emotional regulation, that's not even an option if you don't master it. You need to master it because your life and your health depends on it. And it is also your mental health superpower, because emotional regulation has shown, I'll give you stats later, but it's shown huge improvements in mental health. Okay, so we have the basics. So how does emotional self-regulation contribute to mental health? So let's look at it, why it's your benefit. Yeah, why would you want to support it? Not only with Healy programs, but also with understanding how to regulate yourself. So strong emotional regulation is a proactive shield. So it's a preventive, yeah, for mental health. and it's reducing risks of anxiety, depression, and burnout. Yeah, so if you've experienced any of those, I have had all of them, yeah, you will understand why this is so important. And this is all while boosting resilience, focus, and life satisfaction. You'll be much happier when you actually understand how to regulate yourself emotionally. It also promotes adaptive behaviors. So you easily adapt to the environment. Yeah. So you're not stressed over certain minimal changes, and your nervous system is not agitated as much. For example, like seeking support, yeah, like asking for help or pausing before reacting. Those are really important behaviors to adapt. That actually ripple into better relationship that will give you better relationship productivity and overall well-being. So that's what research actually shows. So evidence shows it enhances quality of life by 20 to 40%. That's not a low number. Yeah. So imagine that almost half of the situations in your life are in your hands just by learning emotional regulation, and then using it together with frequency, you can shift a lot of things in your life. Yeah, the things that are giving you the most stress. So it actually enhances quality of life 20 to 40% in daily functioning per studies on emotional regulation strategies. Yeah, so those are studies done. You've seen how emotional blocks show in aura scans. So we've done the scans of aura and we know how emotional blocks come up. Yeah, we can see certain auras are lower and, you know, you can see the overall energy is lower. So if you ever scanned yourself before when you were happy and then had a fight with someone and scanned yourself afterwards, you would see the changes in energy drastically, especially if there was an energetic shift in your heart or if there was a fear that came up from the root chakra. You will see shifts and movements in your centers. Yeah, you will see them drop. And then when you actually start emotional regulation, you will see the energy shift. I'm not kidding. So if you haven't done that before, I would really encourage you to actually play with Healy and do the scans that way. So when you're happy, and then when you had a fight right with the partner or with someone else, scan right after, and then do emotional regulation and do another scan. And you will see the shifts happening in real time in your percentages and in your aura centers and chakra centers. So we know that there are blocks in there. So as soon as we actually have a trigger, things come up. But when we regulate, that clears that noise, the static noise, that the emotion that was suppressed came up and it became a noise in like a static in the air, like when you do the radio, right? It goes before you go back to the music. So that static noise stays in the field if you don't do emotional regulation. And if you use frequency later on, it actually helps to smooth that surface and get rid of the static. And when you do regulate emotionally, when you apply frequencies, they actually go deeper. You have better integration of frequency as well. So emotional regulation and frequency goes really well together. Research also links poor emotional regulation to 2 times higher depression risk. So you have a 2 times higher depression risk if you do not know how to emotionally regulate yourself. And that is seen all over the world, if you've noticed. But consistent practice actually flips that. So if you understand how to emotionally regulate, if you learn how to emotionally regulate, you will see changes in your life. And I can contest to that by far. Okay, so mental health connections. So long-term, short-term, and the holistic benefit of it. So short-term, it actually, emotional regulation and mental health, it lowers your acute stress. Yeah, so your nervous system will regulate, your digestive system will actually come back online, right? Because when we are in fight and flight, the digestive system doesn't work properly because it's not important. So you have faster recovery for arguments. If you ever had a really huge argument with your partner or kids or whatever, you probably felt drained and tired afterwards. So it's really important to regenerate that energy. Long term, it actually builds neural pathways for calm, lowering inflammation linked mood disorders. So those are all affecting your body. It actually fights, and poor emotional regulation actually activates the inflammation in your body that's linked to mood disorders like anxiety, depression, and also mood swings ups and down, and like negative thoughts and things like that. That is all affecting the inflammatory response in your body. And long-term emotional regulation builds those neural pathways that are wired for calm. So you feel safe, and that means it lowers inflammation in the body because the molecules of stress are lower. Yeah. What's the holistic bonus of the emotional regulation is it ties into physical health because, of course, it lowers inflammation. Regulated emotions means balanced hormones, better immunity, and even improved Healy scans. Yeah, so you'll see them, the percentages will lower. Yeah, so you will see programs that you will scan. For example, when you scan all Healy programs, when you go into the list of programs, you'll see lower numbers, not 60 or 70%, it will be under 50. And while you scan aura and coaching, you will see, like in coaching, more green levels, and you'll see lower percentages. Yeah, and more positive patterns coming up on your aura. So that will shift as well. So those are all things that you will be noticing when you start emotionally regulating. Okay, so theory is great, right? But how do we do this? So let's get practical. So one of the things that is really simple and you can start with, and I use it all the time, is the pause method. So I gave you the steps and you can get this. I'll give you like everything else. You can get it in the group. So first we need to pause and notice. Yeah. So we either stop, take a breath. Yeah. We scan the body for emotional cues. So do I have much, is there a shallow breath? Do I feel anxiety, tight chest, tight stomach? You know, what's going, do I have like tingly hands? Am I dizzy? What's going on in the body and where do you feel it? Yeah. If you get good at it, yeah, the 5-minute body scan, you can actually get it in a minute. Yeah. If you do it really fast. You can scan your body and actually see where you have like shadow, gray areas, where there's heat, like there's different things that you can scan in the body, and you can see where the emotion is coming up from. And then of course you can pair it with Healy, like aura scan or coaching scan or any of the emotional resonance scans to see where things are relating from your intuition as well as Healy, and that builds trust as well for yourself. But body scan, like the 5-minute body scan through research, has been proven to cut reactivity by 30%. So if you do the scan, close your eyes, take a breath, and scan your body to actually really see what's going on, where you have the shadow areas, where you have the burning areas, that will help you calm down the nervous system before you respond instead of react in any conversations. Yeah. So how do we support this part of our emotional regulation? So we run a quick creative homeopathy scan. So we've done the whole session of creative homeopathy, and it shows you the stress patterns. So what is stressing you out in that moment? It's a really simple one, top five elements that come up and 5 stresses, which actually help you understand what really happened. You can also go into aura analysis, which shows you the energies and where things are coming from, and of course deeper into the emotional patterns, or Bach flowers. Those are the really good ones to use here, because Bach flowers will tell you the emotions, and then you can vibrate them back to actually balance those frequencies within your field. And this will give you emotional insights. The second step is acknowledgement. So we need to now acknowledge. First, we were aware of what's going on, and we took a breath, and now we need to acknowledge the situation by naming the emotion and what's going on. So this is, we can say, this is frustration and it's valid. I feel fear and it's valid. I am angry and it's valid. So you give yourself acknowledgement of what you're feeling, so you're not suppressing your emotions. So if it's too intense, if you feel drained, there's programs with Healy you can use. Mental balance programs are amazing. Yeah. emotional well-being, unity, positive thoughts. Those are all really good programs. Even contentment systemic or contentment acute, which is really simple, short program, 20 minutes, I think it is, will help the brain to come out of the emotional part into the prefrontal brain, so you can actually start rationally approaching things. Yeah, so you can start seeing from different perspectives. Soul Cycle is really amazing as well. Aura Pure, Confidence, Happy, which has positive emotional shifts that can happen in the body, and also meridians. So if the emotions are deeply suppressed, and if you find that aura, like if you scan an aura and one of the chakras loses a lot of energy, I would actually scan the meridian programs as well on Healy. No need, you can do the meridian module on the MagHealy, but I would just do the meridians on Healy, and I would see what meridians come up, and I would actually apply those as well to actually help move the energy through the body, because meridians are the ones that are charging our nervous system and are charging our bioenergetic field. And if there's a blockage there and there's not enough flow, that will also contribute to imbalances. So this actually helps to unblock your pathways without overwhelm. So you don't need to understand where it's coming from. You don't have to go into those depths if you don't want to, but you can use programs to actually support you. And eventually down the line, you will get more knowledgeable, you'll get more information, you will get more practice and implementation, and you will start connecting the dots as well. The third step is understanding the trigger. Yeah, that's really important. Is how do we do that? So we always ask questions. If we don't ask questions, we don't get the answers. So I like to ask the question, what's this protecting me from? So if I fear something, or if I'm angry, anger is it's a protective emotion, setting boundaries. Yeah. So what is this protecting me from? What am I afraid to let in, and what am I protecting myself from? So the body will tell you. If it doesn't come up, that's okay. Don't stress. Don't stay there and try to figure out. It's okay. You can also use Schüssler salts at this stage. Schüssler salts will tell you also the underlying physical imbalances within the body connected to the emotional patterns. So those are the things that you can look at, what's going on in the body, and then support the body as well to see where it's coming from. And then if you don't know, and if you don't know how to do that, try shifting it gently as much as possible. And this is where the reframe or release comes in. So you can use the gold release program, but what we do need to do first is regulate our nervous system. So deep breaths, so the 4-7-8 method is a really good one, or psychosomatic sigh, which is the double inhale and long exhale. Yeah. Those actually have been proven to lower cortisol, and specifically psychosomatic sigh has been proven in less than 5 minutes to lower the cortisol for over 70%, meaning that it regulates your nervous system really fast. That means that you can shift from fight and flight to rest and digest, and then you can start getting information. You can journal your thoughts and emotions. And if you feel like you still have tension and you don't know what the trigger is, yeah, and you haven't got to that point, shaking the body, like jumping up and down, shaking the body, like really shaking the tension out of the body, really helps to shift the energy. Movement of energy helps. Yeah. So what can you do here? You can apply the resonance list that you have actually scanned here above. Yeah. So you can now apply them to your body, so you can start shifting the energy and moving it through. So you can start calming down the nervous system, calming down yourself and the brain. You can also use McMakin programs. McMakin programs on MagHealy. So this is MagHealy Obsidian, the new one. Oh, I'm so happy I have it. I got it. It took a while before it came. So MagHealy McMakin programs and MagHealy McMakin Plus. So MagHealy Obsidian has all of them. Yeah. MagHealy McMakin programs, vagus nerve harmony, emotions, brain harmony. Those are really good ones to actually shift the energy, to balance your nervous system, especially vagus nerve. It helps digestion as well. And then McMakin Plus programs, which we're going to look at today, which I'm really excited about. And then, of course, the last step is engage forward. So moving forward, create action to move forward, not to stay stuck back in the past. So we need to now create aligned action. Yeah, we need to act in alignment with who we are right now. So we need to figure out how to set a boundary if that's necessary. We need to reconnect with ourselves and other people around us. Yeah, if we did something, we need to apologize. Otherwise, we need to set a boundary to actually protect our space and to integrate what we have shifted. So there's few programs you can actually use. So one of the databases in the Blue app, it's Alaskan Gem Elixirs. We're going to do a session on that this month, at the end of the month. So I'm going to give you all the details on Alaskan Gem Elixirs. And those are really good for safety and foundational integrity. So it literally helps to integrate information into the body. Also, activation in job and digital nutrition, those are really good too. Coherence to align yourself, energy work in Deep Cycle H, and vagus nerve harmony McMakin programs. Those are really good for integration after the shift. Yeah, so those are the steps. That's again theory. So you need to start practicing those simple steps that you have and choose one of the things that you want to choose for, I don't know, you can do creative homeopathy, scan it, vibrate it, and then maybe apply a soul cycle. Yeah, that's a simple way to do it. You don't have to use everything. If you don't have McMakin programs, fine. Use something that you have, even if it's balance in Gold Cycle, yeah, or release in Gold Cycle. You can do so much even with Gold Cycles, yeah? So don't think that you need to be limited, that you're limited just because you don't have all the programs. You can work with a lot of things, but this is just an expansion for everybody to use and use what works for you. Okay, so how does frequency help with emotional regulation in mental health? So first of all, we know that frequencies are vibrational patterns, and that literally influence your bioenergetic field. We know that. That's studies, science proving that. It's like tuning the radio. So if we have a lot of suppressed emotions, there's a lot of static, so you can't listen to the radio because it's going to hurt your ears. Yeah, it's white noise. And we need to clear the static out. Yeah, so Healy's microcurrent and magnetic technology like MagHealy, yeah, which is magnetic, as well as a resonance, they all deliver precise signals to harmonize disruptive emotional frequencies, because Healy, MagHealy, they in resonance as well, all of it delivers harmonic frequencies. So bringing our body to balance, giving it information in order to come back into alignment. So when it delivers these harmonic frequencies, it harmonizes our disruptive emotional frequencies and reduces stress hormones and promote neural coherence for calmer states, because it actually calms your brain down as well. So we know that this is not woo-woo anymore, because there's a lot of science, and Healy is doing a lot of double-blind placebo studies now, which we're going to look at, which is really, really important to understand that this is actually working. If you believe it or not, it will still work. So with bioresonance, because this is bioresonance, we are restoring balance where emotions create noise in your cells and aura. So we're now calming it down. So they bring stress reductions, yeah, because they modulate the autonomic nervous system, shifting it from fight and flight to the rest and digest through the vagus nerve. They also stimulate emotional release, because emotions are energy and they move. And when we move the energy through the body, the emotions will move as well. So we can target blockages, unblocking negative patterns, yeah? So we can have a better flow through the body. And our mental health boosts, yeah? So it actually improves, frequencies improve well-being through placebo studies that we've done by 45% on average in pilot studies. So 44%, yeah, sorry, 44%, not 45. 44% on average, it's a lot, yeah? And that even if you believe it or not. So it actually helps to enhance the mood stability and resilience. So, but you need consistency. It's not going to help if you just throw some frequency at you. You need to actually be consistent. I know it's boring, but that's how it works. So soul cycles, for example, you can use it for daily mood alignment, resonance, so all your scans in Blue app, for any impulse control. So bath flowers are really good for that. Creative homeopathy, something that shifts you faster. Yeah, so you can just vibrate. So frequencies make regulation proactive, not reactive. Yeah, so we are balancing it through emotional regulation and frequency, and that will give us better results. Okay, now the game changer. Let's do the McMakin Plus programs with MagHealy Obsidian. So I'm going to go through all of them, and I actually gave you extra stuff, yeah, that you're not going to find in Healy official explanations. So these are all new 12 programs. They've done double-sided, double placebo studies. And this is the top one is your Healy official description of the program. Because we are doing emotional regulation, I have added shorter descriptions of each program to tell you how they can affect your emotional and mental health well-being. Yeah, you're gonna get this all of it, don't stress. I also gave you some stars of which programs next to the programs that actually help support and lift your moods and well-being and mental health. So we have 12 programs. First 6 is the body flexibility, joint mobility, spinal disc harmony, skin sun harmony, skin comfort, weight harmony. We're going to go to the next 6. But body flexibility literally is facilitating harmonization of bioenergetic field of musculoskeletal system to support the body movement, encouraging flexibility and freedom. So it's like a body flexibility, joints, muscles, tissues, yeah? Anything that you have inflammation in, that needs stretching, that needs, lowering inflammation and helping the body release anything, yeah? Joint mobility is specific for the joints. Spinal disc harmony is specific for the spine, so the disc in the spine to actually help your spine align and lower the inflammation throughout that. Of course, all through bioenergetic field. This is not directly on a physical level, right? So we're looking at frequencies. Then skin sun harmony, this is for exposure to the sun. So if your skin was exposed to the sun too much, you get sunburn. This is to restore the skin layers. And we know the skin emotionally is also a protective layer as well. Then we have skin comfort is anything that is in response to environmental stresses and imbalances and discomfort of the skin. Yeah, so like I would suggest probably, and I don't know, think that could be related to anything that, like, if you have a rash or something on the skin, there's environmental stresses that can be influencing your skin, your boundary, that will help that balance of bioenergetic field in order to protect that boundary. Weight harmony, I was actually really excited for this one to come out. So the weight harmony actually supports harmonization of the bioenergetic field of adipose tissue, helping to maintain equilibrium within the body's natural rhythm. So we know what adipose tissue is, right? Adipose tissue is fat tissue, yeah? So with the fat lipids. So this is actually helping to balance the fat responses in the body, of how body stores fat and how fat responds to the different elements in the body. I'm not going to go into that today, but it has shown in the pilot studies, it has shown a 50% well-being increase and reduced sweet snacking with this program. Yeah, because it addresses emotional habits around body image. So this helps with mental health as well. So the studies that Healy has done, although they were volunteers, it showed a huge increase in well-being itself. I think there's a reason for it, but there's another session to do that. Yeah. Okay, then we have the last 6 programs, which are Deep Breath, Night Harmony Male and Night Harmony Female, Sleep, Space Clearing, Clarity, and Post-Stress. So there's quite a few stars here that it can help you with emotional and mental health and emotional regulation. So Deep Breath. So this is a really important one because it actually supports the respiratory system, supporting the openness and the ease and the clarity in breathing. And it's also normally combined with breath work. Yeah, so like pranayama or any other breath work. So if you are breathing and taking the space, just run deep breath. You can use any other programs as well in the Healy that are focusing on respiratory, but this one actually helps to open up the space so you can breathe easily. That means stress lowers. That means that you don't feel anxiety as much. You don't feel as heavy in the body, and that actually helps you resolve the situations in your life. Then we have two, Healy calls it gender-related programs. They are literally on sex, so the female and the male. And night harmony, female and male, they were both used in the studies, so the double-blind studies, and they have actually shown a boosted well-being by 52% and recovery over 3 weeks. So just in 3 weeks, the well-being was boosted for over 52%. And they've used it, I think, every night for 3 weeks. That was the study. Yeah, so both night harmony male and night harmony female. So if you're a female, you use the night harmony female. If you're a male, you use night harmony male. Just letting you know, these two programs are longer than you are used to in Healy. But I haven't tried them yet this week, but I will let you know in the group when I do. And of course, with women, it also showed not only the 52% increase in well-being uplift, but also improved sleep satisfaction. And it also, this program is really good for females because it aligns with our female rhythms, and it restores any of the overnight it restores the resilience with women, and it actually goes with our cycles. So all the hormone cycles and everything that actually get restored through the night. Then we have space clearing. This is different than energy clearing in McMakin programs 1 and 2. This is space clearing, which is actually harmonization of the personal and emotional space of a individual. And it actually fosters sense of calm and equilibrium during challenging moments. So if you have challenging moments, and if you have an option to actually put a MagHealy Obsidian and actually activate the space clearing, it will help you with conflicts. Yeah, it will balance out the space and your emotional space. Clarity is really, really good. It dissolves the mental fog and the brain's field. So if you are struggling to kind of understand kind of what's going on in the situation when you have the emotional regulation, clarity is a really good program to use as well. And then, of course, post-stress. This will actually help to harmonize the bioenergetic field in response to past stresses. So whatever happened, you now can use the post-stress program in order to actually calm down and restore the inner balance and peace, so you can actually approach it from a different angle. So I'm not going to go through all of it because we don't have the time, but you can read it afterwards. And I'm going to give you all of this that I created add on to the normal descriptions as well. So this is all about our beautiful emotional regulation. And it is all for tonight. So if you have questions, I will take questions. 5 questions. If you have a question, raise your hand up with your Zoom, and I will take your question. Otherwise, I will look at in the chat, because I know you always have so many questions. I tried results are really impressive. You mean for the McMakin Plus programs? I would think so. Empathy towards others. Yeah, perfect. Okay, any questions around anything today? Oh, you lost for words today. I love this. Oh my God, normally there's a million questions and we're still like for an hour here. Okay, perfect. Then we're done. Emotional regulation done for tonight. Oh, here you go. Question. I said Julie. Okay, Nitya, you're up. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Beautiful. So happy to see you, Petra. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good too, thank you. So I just need to have one clarity. You said in the beginning, frequency amplifies frequency, right? So in that case, if suppose if I have, if I'm feeling very negative inside, in that case, when I'm using the Healy, when frequency amplifies frequency means what should I do actually? That part I couldn't get it
Okay,
actually.
so
So
let's
should
look
I
at it
accept
this
that
way.
I have the negative feelings, or what should I
Always
do?
accept. Always accept. So when we accept what we have, we are allowing it to actually be released. And then think of it as um, a puzzle. You know, you have like 1,000 pieces of a puzzle. Yeah. So all of a sudden you have this beautiful picture that you're creating, and some of the puzzle pieces are black. They're not colorful, they're black. And all of a sudden, you were like, oh, what is this picture? I can't see it. So there's a black piece, and there's a black piece, and there's too many black pieces. I want to know what this picture is, and I want to see the beautiful picture. So, in order to actually see the whole picture, I need to first accept that I have black spots in there, right? So, in order to actually accept those black spots and go, oh, okay, there's a black spot, so I need to replace that in order to see the big, beautiful picture in color. Yeah. So now you're going to accept that, you will see it, you will accept it, you will take that black spot out. Yeah. And then you will replace it with a beautiful, colorful piece of a puzzle that will now create a bigger, beautiful picture. So, what do I mean by this? So, when you accept an emotion of anger, I'm angry, yeah, and I feel it in my stomach, yeah, and you go, okay, I scan creative homeopathy, comes up with different stress patterns, yeah, and you can see what those stress patterns are. Now you look at them and go, oh wow, maybe I am not setting boundary. Maybe I'm really draining myself, by over explaining something to someone, or I'm not doing enough self-care for myself, or maybe, it's stressing me out because I'm doing everything for everybody else, but I don't have enough time for myself. Maybe I should set a boundary there, right? So this means now you are accepting that you're not setting a boundary, that you're actually needing more time, that you need to speak up, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So now you're accepting that black piece. So now that you know that, you're going to start implementing the boundaries and expressing more and whatever that is. Yeah. And now that you're going to do that, you can also vibrate that creative homeopathy list. And the frequency that Healy will send will be harmonic, meaning that if you need to set more boundaries, Healy will set a positive statement, which is a harmonic frequency resonance into your body and bioenergetic field, meaning that it will amplify you to actually set the boundary. But what does that mean in real life? It doesn't mean that you will just magically create boundaries. Yeah. It means that you will create more opportunities in order for you
I
to actually step up and create boundaries. Yeah, so you will need to act on those opportunities and actually set the boundary in order to shift the frequency. Because it's the same as now I know I have the black piece, I'll take the black piece out, but now I need to find the right piece that goes into that space of the puzzle so I have a complete, beautiful picture. So I need to do the action. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, beautiful, Petra. It's a very clear
Okay,
explanation. Thank you so much. I
you're
get it
welcome.
completely.
Yeah, because people think, oh, I'm just going to scan Healy, vibrate, and then magically things will just, change. But it's our action that needs to be taken in order for the frequency to shift. Healy can guide us towards that and create opportunities for us to actually step into that frequency, but we need to choose that. Yeah, it's our free will to do that. Okay, perfect.
Beautiful, and your explanation makes me to understand that it's not just a device, but it's a very divine blessing, I would say.
It's a
It's a
quantum
beautiful
field.
blessing.
We live in a
Yes.
quantum field, and we do that every day. We just don't understand it. We think we I love having these conversations with people. um I need to manifest things, and I'm like, what do you mean? You're not manifesting now? Like, we manifest all the time. It's just the quantum field is like, if we wouldn't be manifesting, you wouldn't exist, right? So it's just uh, what frequency are you choosing to manifest? Are you choosing the negative thought that will create this outcome, or are you choosing a positive thought that will create this outcome? So if you want to change the outcome, change the source. That's all it has to be. But the thing is, we have blockages and we have emotions that are fogging our brain and perspectives. And that's why frequency and Healy are so hugely important, because they give us an insight of what piece of the puzzle we need to actually look at, accept, and change. Yeah, that's all it is. Really simple, but really cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Cool. Any other questions? Are you okay? Was that it?
I'm perfectly fine, Petra. Thank you so much.
Perfect. No worries. Thank you, Nitya. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, hello. Chat exploded now. I didn't even see in between. Teenager mood swings. Would you suggest any I had this conversation. We're on teenagers lately. Whew, it's a big topic, isn't it? Teenagers, it's a challenging situation, because first of all, they're going through mood swings on their own because hormones are changing. So in that perspective, I would definitely support hormone changes and hormone balance. Secondly, what's going on in emotional and mental and energetic level is teenagers are becoming their own person. Mentally and emotionally and energetically, kids they don't even understand they are separate from their parent until we are about a year and a half to 2 years old. Yeah, boys later than girls. Ego forms around the age of 7. And after that, kids start developing and start understanding that they are a separate being, and they are now becoming an adult in a teenage years. And when they're becoming an adult, it's a normal thing that they want to actually separate from the parent. And if a parent wants to now hold on and control because they feel like, there's fears around it and all of that, I normally tend to go, instead of supporting their situation, regulate yourself. Because the more you regulate yourself, the better example and energy you're going to be for your kids and teenagers, especially. And you're going to empower them to actually be an adult, because you are going to lead by your example. But if you do need to support the mood swings in a way of hormones, of course, you can do that emotionally through Blue app. Whatever scans that I gave you, you can use on teenagers as well. And you can offer them that pause practice as well if they want to participate. But they also need to learn on their own mistakes, and teenager years are important to make a lot of mistakes, because they can then be empowered to change them and shift them. And I know this is really challenging for parents, because you want to support and protect your babies, but they are becoming adults and they need to learn somehow. And it is hard, but Healy can be, if you scan them and vibrate that to them, if they are open in applying Healy programs, great, you can, but please don't force them, because they need to learn on their own. Yeah, otherwise it's a disconnect as well. Okay. A friend is deep in depression due to financial loss. I started with Bach flowers and Gold Cycle, blue in pink apps. What next, please? As I said, you can try any programs I've suggested there. I think it's also any situation that like this that happens. First of all, I would definitely do mental balance programs. Inner unity is really good too. What is it? Digital nutrition, joy. And now I forgot the name. No, I forgot the name. I don't know why. It will come to me. Joy of life. Joy of life. Um, in digital nutrition has a vibration or frequency of serotonin in there as well, so that helps. But depression, we like to use depression as. I'm not a doctor, but I've been in depression and multiple times, and this is my experience. We like to use depression as a symptom of, this is how it is, a label of something. But depression is nothing else but depressed emotion. So fully suppressed emotion to the point that we are not aware of them and we don't want to look at them. They're too painful. And it's really important to understand to actually have emotional regulation with depression, and slowly through somatics, through the body, to help and come back to the body. because with depression, we tend to get out of the body because it's too painful to be in there. And it's really important to understand that those feelings are coming up for a reason in order to be observed, accepted, and transformed. Because if we don't, then we are still staying in the same frequency. But I know depression can be challenging. For me, it helped the joy of life, inner unity, emotional well-being, contentment, acute contentment, systemic, clean all, go to the roots, in deep cycle H. What else did I use? Vagus nerve, kidney harmony in McMakin on Mag, bed rest, balanced sleep. Those are all programs that I use for my own depression. So you can try any of those. Healy resonance included with prosperity program. I don't understand. So prosperity program is an atmospheric program in MagHealy or MagHealy Obsidian. So the resonance, you can scan in the Blue app, you can scan MagHealy programs. So currently the MagHealy Obsidian programs, so the McMakin Plus, which is the new one, are not on that scan yet. From what I've heard, they're working on it, so it's gonna be on there soon. But hopefully I understood that correctly. So that's the only way you can scan the MagHealy programs. But in the Blue app, you can't just apply one program. You need to vibrate the list of programs. And it's also a different application in the Blue app through Resonance than it is through MagHealy itself as an atmospheric program. Yeah, so those are two different applications. So if you don't understand that, there's trainings on MagHealy in the Healy Academy, and I have done MagHealy programs in program groups, separate trainings that you can watch as well, either in the Facebook group or on the YouTube channel in the past. Does Healy Resonance have Soul Cycle program? You can scan Soul Cycle program list and it will come up with the top 5, and then you can vibrate that. But you can't apply a specific program through the Blue app. You can apply a list of 5. Gut, you have a whole, we've done so many trainings on gut because it's so important. You can go back and do the digestive system. We had so much through that, nervous system, digestive system, detoxification, you have plenty. Another question about teenagers finding our well-meaning advices inhibiting their freedom. What frequency helped them to take constructive advice as a stepping stone to success? Good luck with that. That's the thing. Teenagers need to learn and they need to actually rebel. And I know parents don't like to hear that and it's hard to let go, but they won't listen to you. So an advice that I actually heard with a friend of mine that has teenage boys now, and she said the best connection is to stop being their parent for a while, and when you're communicating, you become a big brother or a big sister. So you are literally stepping into the world, not asking them directly about them, but for example, I don't know, you can ask them, you know, how it is to be a teenage person this year, these days, right? So you can figure out and get into their world and try to understand them in their world, but they're supposed to rebel. So it's like, this is how I see behavior is, it's like, you know, when we get a temperature in the body, and in Western medicine, the first thing they want to do with temperature is get rid of it. You want to lower the temperature right away. Yeah. Temperature has a meaning in the body. Yeah. And it's supposed to be there in order to kill the bacteria that is actually toxic for your body. And if we are lowering the temperature too fast and too quick and too intensely, we are literally killing the healing process of the body. And the same happens with teenagers becoming their own space. So I would encourage you to actually work on yourself and your triggers. So if something triggers you that they are not listening to you, try to listen to them. reverse it, right? Mirroring. Try listening to them and try to get into the world. That's what I would like to do. And then scan them. Scan scan an aura or a creative homeopathy to see what their stresses are, and see and try to ask them questions about those stresses. Yeah. How will this happen? Addiction. Emotional regulation. So addiction, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really specifically say, but the way I would look at addiction is when we are trying to fill a hole that is bottomless. So we are lacking something and we're trying to find an outside source in order to fill up the hole of something that we are lacking. So for example, if you feel unlovable, or we feel not loved, we don't love ourselves, we feel others don't love us, we will try to smoke in order to, build up that grief of being disconnected or not being loved, right? Because it's the heart and the chest. If we are angry, at the world and nothing is happening, good for us, it's the victim mentality. We might be drinking, because it's the liver, and the anger and the liver go together. So we are intoxicating our world more and more because we believe the world is toxic. So I look at addiction that way. So if you are emotionally regulating and looking at the patterns and the blockages of why you are addicted to certain things, you need to find the root cause of why you are doing it. What that addiction is giving you in the first place. What will you lose if you stop drinking, or if you stop smoking, or if you stop the sugar? Because sugar is also addiction. So that's how I would approach it. And you can use aura scans. You can use the emotional intelligent training that I've done for addiction. That's something I would do as well. Cool. I will. Yeah, perfect. Food to definitely. Is the vital virtual positive mindset is the virtual liver, an important foundation of mental health. Virtual liver. What do you mean by that? Sorry. Is Healy resonance included with prosperity? Healy resonance, I don't understand what does that mean. So resonance is an application. So resonance is an application and prosperity is a program. So it's an IMF program that runs through a different applications through either Healy or MagHealy. So I don't know. Joy of life. Yes. Does Healy resonance have soul cycle program? Thank you very much. I think that's it. Okay. For mental health with aura healing, how to proceed? What do you mean by that? With aura healing, how to proceed? If you want to use aura module, in the resonance app, which is the blue app, we have I think there's 3 trainings on aura that I've done. I've done emotional intelligence for ourselves. We use aura coaching and creative homeopathy. I've done partnership and relationships through that as well. There's so many trainings that you can go through. Is there prosperity program? Oh, in the resonance module of Healy, that's what you are asking. So the prosperity program is only on MagHealy Professional or MagHealy Obsidian. It's an atmospheric program, that only goes on MagHealy or MagHealy Obsidian. Prosperity directly, I use activation for prosperity. I use aura, I use coaching. If you don't have a mag, you can try that. I've done a training. I think it was manifesting with Healy, and it was with coaching module. Is way back. I think it was last year or something. You can look at that training as well. Okay. Cosmic growth. What cosmic growth coherence? I don't know what that is. I know what it is, but I don't know what you meant. In case of dementia, so I can't tell you. That's a medical question. So I would encourage you to either scan all Healy programs and see what that person needs to actually vibrate that to them, or I would start researching why dementia happens. You might be surprised if you go down that rabbit hole. But And if you move away from Western medicine and look at the alternative support as well. Okay, that's about it. Yay! 8. I'm so happy we did this today, less than 2 hours, seriously, guys. Okay, so next week we have Christy. And then I think we have planned Alaskan Gem Elixirs at the end of this month. So I'm going to give you all the stuff, yeah, because that's the last database I think we haven't done in the Blue app. And then I think we almost covered everything, unless the new program. Unless if you have any other questions, if you want to learn more, I know there was a question in our group, so I always put polls in. But if you have any things that you would like me to do, because I don't know what you want, so you need to tell me, pop it into the group. Yeah, pop it into my Facebook group, tell me what you want, and then I can pop it all together if there's a lot of you that want it, so we can actually create a session out of it. But otherwise, thank you guys, thank you for coming tonight. Have a beautiful weekend ahead, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Christy's next week. See ya.